Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. Getting ready to braid some onions today. Braiding onions is one of the ways that I store onions for the winter. And what that is you take a length of baler twine and you make a loop with it, and you loop your onions onto that twine, and then you can hang them up. And I just store these onions out in my garage unheated until the temperatures get down in about the mid-20s, and I transfer them into the house, which for me is usually sometime the end of November. It's a really good way to store onions because air can circulate around them, so they keep really well. And I've actually pulled my onions about 2, maybe even 3 weeks ago, and I just spread them out on newspaper and I let them dry. And that's kind of at the stage we're at here. I'm going to try to show you here how I go about doing this. What I have is just a length of baler twine, like so, and I'm going to take and I'm going to tie just a regular overhand knot in the top. And what that's going to do is that's going to form me a loop. It looks just like so. Now I'm going to take this part of the loop, turn it over on itself, and I'm going to make myself another loop just like this. And then what I want to do is I want to take a onion, a little bit larger onion, kind of like what this guy is right here, and he's going to be the anchor point for my other onions. And see if I can show you here. Take my loop, the onion stem goes through the loop like this, and then you pull it tight just like so. And like I said, this is going to be the anchor point for the rest of my onions. Now, like these skins that are on here, if the skin will pull off easily, I take it off. If it's still kind of hard and attached, I leave it on because it's kind of the natural protection. These kind of peel off pretty easy, so we're going to leave them. Or we're going to take them off. If they were harder, we'd leave them. Anyway, this is kind of where I start. And after I got a few onions on here, I'm going to go back, take my knife or scissors, and I'm going to trim these ends off. So anyway, I'm going to hang this up here. I got a little bit of a screw hanging up here. I'm going to make another loop in this so it's high enough so you guys can see it. Just like so. Now, what I'm going to do is, same thing, kind of peel off any loose material that's on there, and I'm going to separate this twine like so, and I'm going to take this onion and I'm going to wrap the stem about 3 times around my twine in my loop, and I'm going to kind of pull that onion down, and it's going to look something like that. Do another one. I like leaving the stems on until after I got everything braided, and then I trim them off, because sometimes if you trim them off too soon, then you don't have enough material to work with. And you want to try to keep your larger onions, if possible, to the bottom, and kind of work to the smaller ones in the top, up to the top. This is just kind of an old-time way to store onions in either a basement or a root cellar or Michigan basement. Good way to store onions. You can store garlic this way too. Kind of wrap it around there a few times. Here's a little bit bigger one. Wrap it around about 3 times, and then just kind of like pull it down, and it'll, when it gets to the spot it wants to be, it'll seat for you. Do one more here for you guys. So that's kind of the start of it right there. I'm going to continue going up this braid here, see if I can't get this guy filled up. And then I'm going to trim all this stuff up and show you what the finished braid looks like. But I'm going to come back to you here in a second so you guys don't get bored watching me just do the same thing over and over again. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what the final braid looks like after I got it cleaned up. And here's what the final braid looks like after I got it cleaned up. Got the larger onions here on the bottom, smaller ones on the top. When you need an onion for a dish, you just pick out whatever size that you need, snip it off with a small scissors. You just want to hang this in some place where nothing can really bump into it so these guys don't get bruised, and they'll keep really well for you until the temperature gets too low, and like I said, then you have to move them into the house, so it's a little bit more climate controlled. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Hope you guys got a little information, a little entertainment out of this video. Just wanted to show you here kind of how I store my onions. But you guys have a great day.